Morning, the show Phoenix Magazine readers voted #1 talk radio show in Arizona.
#1 during your morning commute.
#1 whenever news breaks during your day.
And #1 whenever and wherever you want to talk sports.
Now it's time for Monty in the Morning.
Hey, yo! It is Tuesday, February 2nd, 2021. Make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Just go to themontyshow.com, MONTY, themontyshow.com. That'll take you right to our YouTube page. Hit subscribe. Thumbs up on the vids. We appreciate it.
New videos.
You guys are really helping the channel grow. We love talking to you every day here on YouTube Live. Every morning about somewhere around 6-ish in stuff. But yeah, we are ending our Periscope live feed coming up this Friday. So get over to YouTube Live right now. Find us on YouTube, The Monty Show. Hit subscribe. Don't you ever miss a minute of the show. Okay. That feels aggressive.
All right.
Speaking of aggressive, I guess we're going to start with GameStop and AMC again. Mm-hmm. Because I can't quit you. Mm-hmm. I can't seem to get away from it. Mm-hmm. And really what I can't get away from at this point is giving away all of my earnings. Because in pre-market trading, yeah, you laugh over there. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate actually doing your job, playing drops. I'm a little ornery, which is different than horny. AMC is in the tank in pre-market. It's all the way down to $9. $9.
What now? Let me tell you what now.
Well, we start eating bread and bologna. That's what now. I don't know what to do with this. Here's where I'm at with AMC and GameStop. I think the GameStop ride is probably going to continue for a few more days. I don't know what to make of AMC. If you're new to this or you don't know what I'm talking about, AMC Entertainment, the movie chain, GameStop, the vid store, the video game store, Reddit traders, essentially internet traders, have taken over those stocks because they were on the verge of going out of business because hedge funds were shorting the stock, which means gambling that it would fail. And Reddit users got on board and bought millions and millions of dollars worth of stock to screw the hedge funds. Well, the hedge funds on AMC were supposed to have to buy back all of their stock. Well, they have until Friday to do that. And what they're counting on is that people like me who are holding a pretty good stake in AMC are going to sell out of panic. Well, guess what? I'm not selling out of panic.
Cold-blooded, clean, methodical, and thorough.
I'm going to hold. And,
sticking it to the man.
Well, you know what? This situation is crazy. And the thing that, if you've listened to this show, the thing you've probably taken away over the last several years is that I'm tired of the little guy getting bohica'd. I'm tired of the little guy not getting a reach around. I'm tired of the little guy always turning up with a condom full of freaking holes in it.
This case is empty.
Right? Like, I want a case that's full.
Empty. The opposite of full.
I want it. I'm thirsty.
I want it.
Yeah, I am thirsty right now. And the thing that frustrates me, particularly about this situation, is that it is millionaire and billionaire hedge fund owners who don't give a damn about companies going out of business, who are profiting on people's misery and the ends of careers, profiting, making millions and billions of dollars, while we're over here trying to figure out how we're going to get a stimulus check from good old Grandpa Joe.
Correctamundo.
Yeah, and I'm kind of at the end of my rope with it. So I'm not willing. I'll lose every penny I put into AMC before I sell it. I'm not willing to let the hedge fund billionaires win. I'm not.
I hope that other people who have a position in it are just as committed, because I think if you stay committed to it, it'll come around for sure.
It probably won't. But the point is, it's terrifying. And I'll just say, I'm looking at the pre-market numbers, it's I don't know
What is
that.
I try to stay calm and not curse.
That's well, we're on a cursing moratorium on this show as of yesterday.
And some only want to hear what they want to hear.
It's at $9.01. It's at $9.01 AMC this morning in pre-market.
Physiologically, it's a non-starter.
It is not. Well, yeah.
That's not good, buddy. That's not good.
How am I? Here's my question: how am I going to afford $70 dozen roses when AMC's at $9?
A motherfucker. Damn.
See, I don't. This is going to be painful.
Uh-huh.
But I'm willing to endure that pain if it means that these shorts lose.
So
I truly am.
So if the shorts lose, do you feel like that means that you would have made money, or you think it's beyond that at this point, making money?
It's probably making a ton of money on AMC is probably not going to happen based on market trends and conditions.
Uh-huh.
But if I make $1 on it, it was worth it.
Mm-hmm.
If I make $1 on it, everything that has gone on the last week, because frankly, this has been. I mean, You thought you were dating a 6-foot blonde, and you got like a 4-foot troll with huge moles on her face.
Because your mama are hillbillies.
Yeah, that's where we're at right now, and AMC has got a lot of moles on its face.
Right.
But if it gets back to 20,
life is good.
I mean, prom night, baby.
You're selling for sure.
We're doing this, and that's really where I'm at. For me, if it gets to 20, I'm probably selling. Because at $20 a share, I make really good return.
Uh-huh.
At $9 a share, no, I'm sorry, at $8.98 a share, I'm not making a return.
Right.
So I'm in it now.
Right. Yeah, you're committed.
I'm in it now.
Yeah.
I just hope that people do not panic and sell in mass. Because we've been here before. We have been here before. I can tell you that a week ago, we were at $5. Thursday, we were at $7. I just think that come on, it cannot end like this. And I know I'm not being terribly analytic, but it cannot end like this.
Yeah, this would be a rough ending.
This is not, and it's going to burst at some point.
Right.
But if it bursts before the shorts lose their shorts, I am going to be really disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
I almost don't care about the money. I almost don't care about the money. Right? I don't ever trade with money that's going to make me broke.
Right.
I care about the shorts losing their ass.
Uh-huh.
I care about the people who have for years, decades, lifetimes made money because other people are going out of business. I care about those people going out of business.
Right.
This goes all the way back to the classic film It's a Wonderful Life, where, Mr. Potter owns the entire town because George's grandpa lost a deposit. It goes all the way back to that kind of sentiment in this country. And as much as things have changed, they've stayed the same. The rich get richer while the bottom, just continues to try and fight its way out of mud.
Yep.
And right now, AMC is about waist deep in mud.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm hoping that when we get to the market open here that we're not neck deep in mud.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see a little pop happen when the market's open. Give you some hope. And I think, too, it's important to give the masses who are involved in AMC some hope as well. Because you're right. It's literally, you're talking about an hour away from that stock just being dead. If it were to open today and everybody sells off, it's over, But
well, I'm hoping, what I'm hoping? I'm hoping that $8.98 represents an equity play for some people. I'm hoping that people are like, oh, stock's at $9? Yeah, let me double down.
Yeah.
Let me double down and drive this thing back up.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping. The problem is assholes like Robin Hood. Asshole is not a curse. Find folks like Robin Hood.
Get a fast pass for Douche Mountain, cause you're a douche.
Yeah, the douches at Robinhood are still, limiting trades on AMC and GameStop. And I just, it's criminal. And every day the story changes about why they're limiting the trades, and the SEC wanted this, and then the SEC says they never asked for that, and it wasn't the SEC, it was this fake clearinghouse that has no authority over anybody, but I still had to do it. You're lying. You did it to protect your hedge fund daddies. That's why you did this.
Yep.
And I just don't understand why people are still trading with Robinhood. Why would you ever give them another dollar of your money? And my other question is, knowing that happened, I think you got to stand firm.
Yeah. I think companies like Robinhood are you can't be founded by somebody who's a hedge fund and then say that you're not protecting your capital. You can't do that. It's so clear what they're doing. And so, hopefully, I like your idea. Hopefully people double down because the stock is a little bit lower right now, and hopefully that drives the price right back up. And hopefully, it's only Tuesday, so you got a long way to go here. There's a lot of time to trade left before Friday gets here and the hedge funds lose their ass. So we'll see. But at the end of the day, the Reddit user and that whole story started because they wanted to get after the hedge funds. So if it really is just, how bad do you want to get after those people? Do you want it bad enough to hold your position and to hold your water, as they say? And hopefully people do. And if they do, you're going to be in a great place. And hopefully the stock goes up. Hopefully you see mid-20s again and everything's kosher and you can make your money. But I think that this is the fascinating part about the stock market. One day it can be, hey, we're riding high on this thing. We're $20 a share. Do you think we can get to 30? And then overnight it takes a dump and it's back down to 9 and you're like, damn, I should have sold. And now you're having to ask, well, will people double down? And so hopefully they will. But that is the life of the stock market.
Yeah, I really hope they do. And indications are that, just kind of reading the tea leaves, and it feels like that's a possibility. I just keep looking at this stock hoping something will change. And it's at 896, and then 901, and then 894, and then 901, and we're just gonna hover around this number, and it'll be. I just hang on.
Yeah.
I'm begging you, hang on, because if we've seen anything, when you hold out against Big Dollar Daddy, you're going to win. They will only take so much pain before they just write it off and they slap the gnat out of their face. And in this case, that means they buy their shorts back. And they have until apparently the end of the week. There's some question about that, but it looks like they have until the end of the week to do that. They're not going to wait until the end of the week. They're not. There is a tipping point. And if there is an avalanche of buys on this stock, which I'm hoping happens today, it probably won't. But which I'm hoping happens today.
Yeah.
This could be the day. Yes, Thursday and Friday and now Monday and hopefully Tuesday were supposed to be the day. This could be the day.
Yeah.
That's what I'm really after.
And I seriously feel like overall with the stock market, I hope people learn the lesson that the stock market is not the economy. We've had a lot of great conversations on this show over the last, I would say, I don't know, what would you say, 6 shows that we've done about AMC and GameStop and basically all the intricacies involved in that. But I hope the lesson learned here before all this mayhem started was that, hey, the stock market is not the economy. The health of the stock market is literally not connected to the health of the economy in the average Joe. And I think the realities in the stock market are essentially monopoly money style realities. You're
seriously
like you're just in you're in Wonderland essentially. And so that's why I say I just really hope that this whether you have a position in this and you have a stake or you're just watching from the sidelines like me, like I hope people understand like, hey, this is what can happen. And when you hear people like our former president or anybody else that you see say, oh, well, the stock market's doing really good, so our economy's good. That's not true, and I hope people realize that.
Yeah, we'll see. It certainly is going to be an interesting day, and I guess where I will leave this is I'm not getting out. I'm not getting out of AMC. I'm going to hang on to it, and I'm going to hope for the best. If you're in GameStop right now, I really hope you already made your money. If you got into GameStop while it was in the hundreds, that's a decision you probably are going to regret. If you got into GameStop at the bottom in single digits, you're making a ton of money, and I understand why you're selling. I really do. On AMC, I think you just got to hold on.
Yeah.
You just got to hold on. It's a stock that's at, we're back at $9.01. We're making money. Oh, I'm sorry, $9.06 now.
It just needs a climb, man. Slowly
We're
but
making
surely.
we're making money. Yeah. So I would just advise you to hang on. And once you make that decision to hang on, go ahead and hit the subscribe button on YouTube. You can easily find the YouTube channel at themontyshow.com, MONTY, themontyshow.com, and hit that subscribe button. Jake, let's switch gears and talk about, you want to go Devin Booker or Courtside Karen?
Let's go Courtside Karen first, and then we can talk book.
Lakers at the Hawks. LeBron, AD, and the Lakers got to win in Atlanta. Courtside Karen took a loss. LeBron had a, what would you call it? I wouldn't say a run-in with some courtside fans.
An interaction.
He had a heated conversation with some courtside fans. It involved a husband and a wife, and the wife was ejected. Her husband left with her. She is now being called Courtside Karen because she told LeBron to F off. And in the spirit of me not cursing, we'll let Courtside Karen explain it to you now.
So, I'm minding my own business, and Chris has been a Hawks fan forever. He's been watching the games for 10 years, whatever. He has this issue with LeBron. I don't have an issue with LeBron. I don't give a fuck about LeBron. Anyway, I'm minding my own business, drinking my wine, having fun. All of a sudden, LeBron says something to my husband, and I see this, and I stand up and go, don't fucking talk to my husband. And he looks at me and he goes, sit the fuck down, bitch. And I go, don't fucking call me a bitch. You sit the fuck, get the fuck out of here. And I go, don't fucking talk to my husband like that. Don't talk to my husband. And he literally was like, fuck you, bitch. Sit down, bitch. And all of a sudden, now I'm getting kicked out. Excuse me, I have courtside seats that I pay for. Fuck you, LeBron. You're a fucking pussy. Get the fuck out of here. You're gonna let a 25-year-old girl intimidate you during a game? Bye, bitch. Yo, I truly cannot fathom how whack some of you guys are. And I don't know about you guys, but if my girl was at a game and someone was talking to me and my girl didn't stand up for me, I would reevaluate that relationship. So for all of you clowns saying, your wife's a gold digger, guess what? If I was a gold digger, I would sit back and mind my own fucking beeswax, and I wouldn't open my mouth. But guess what? I'm not a gold digger. That's my husband. I love him. If someone disrespects him, I will check him, whether it's LeBron James or a fucking bum on the street.
Mrs. Tough Guy.
What do you mean? Okay, first of all, I don't believe for a second, because I've been waiting to see video of it.
Uh-huh.
I haven't seen LeBron telling anybody to sit the F down, B.
Yeah.
I haven't seen LeBron doing that.
Right.
And frankly, knowing how LeBron rolls a little bit, I have a little bit of problem thinking he would do that.
Mm-hmm.
This lady does not help herself. Right? I mean, am I wrong in saying that she better be just she needs to have hydraulics in, never mind. The point is, how do you deal with that every day?
I want better fucking execution.
Right? Like, okay, my point is, if you're married to Courtside Karen, she's 25 and she's got a mouth that just
LeBron
won't
said
stop.
LeBron totally trolled him and said that he thought it was a father and daughter until they got into it, and he was shocked. So I basically called her a gold digger without calling her a gold digger. And I don't know. We the whole fans, causing problems at NBA games hasn't been an issue for For a little while. I mean, we haven't really had a run-in, in the league in a while, and I think this is just so fitting. Like whether she's a gold digger or not, I don't know, but you're causing trouble at a game you shouldn't be causing trouble at. Like, literally, just sit down, enjoy the game, control your husband, because that's probably where all this started, honestly.
It was Mr. Courtside Karen.
Courtside Carl.
Courtside Kevin. Was getting into it with LeBron a little bit, and I still don't see any video of LeBron doing that.
Yeah.
They were jawing back and forth, which is normal at an NBA game.
Yeah.
Now, when those of us in Salt Lake City who have watched Russell Westbrook come in here and act like an idiot, and drop N-bombs and insult fans here for years when he comes to Salt Lake City.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Like, he is known to do that.
Yeah.
That's who that guy is. But that's pretty rare. Mm-hmm. You don't have the malice in the palace with Ron Artest pretty much ever.
Yeah, boy, we haven't seen something like that. Well, that's the only
You'll
time
never
I've ever
see it
seen
again.
Yeah, I mean, I don't, yeah.
But these situations in courtside seats, I don't even know if this happens if there's a full complement of fans in the building.
Yeah, I don't know that it does either. I feel
Right?
like this was a unique situation where there's not a lot of fans there. The fans that are there are, I mean, I'm not going to call them all elitist or something, but you're sitting courtside, so you have the money, and it's a Laker game, so you definitely have the money. So I don't know, dude. I think sometimes people like the attention. They just want the attention.
Oh, there's
of the
no
athlete,
question.
And they don't care about if they get kicked out or whatever. So that's just what this is.
There is no question about that. None whatsoever. And I just, I don't know. I think fans need to be back in buildings. There's no doubt about that. I miss having fans courtside. Big games, Lakers, Celtics the other night. Those games are bigger because the fans are really into it.
Right.
There's nothing like that. But right now we're just not in that place in this country where fans can be in the building, right? So the thing that really comes to mind is I think there's a behavioral decorum that should be expected when you're sitting courtside. Just because you paid a higher amount for that ticket doesn't mean that you can say and do what you want. In fact, when you pay more money for those tickets and you sit courtside, your level of behavior and the things you say and do are more magnified. There should be a higher level of expectation that you're going to conduct yourself in an appropriate manner. Now, courtside Karen with her trash can mouth, like, dude, you're in the wrong already.
Yeah.
You're in the wrong already. And I just think that she's in a no-win situation. LeBron's never going to hear about this again.
No.
Once this blows over, he's never going to hear about it. Courtside Karen is going to be a meme and a drop on this show for the rest of our lives. Right? I mean, that's the reality of it. I think fans are more of an issue than the athletes are. I really do.
Yeah, I would agree. I think it's very rare that the NBA athlete is the issue. You talk about Ron Artest or maybe Russell Westbrook. Outside of that, it's extremely rare to have any kind of issue like that. So, yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah, and again, just looking at it, the videos the real little bit of video that exists do not show LeBron insulting this woman like that. They, at least not the ones that I've seen. They show her standing up and, pointing at him and like being an idiot.
Yeah, like you're going to kick LeBron's ass or something.
Right?
Okay.
Like it just, there's no video just looking at it other than her yelling and screaming at him.
Yeah. It kind of initially made it seem like she just kind of jumped off the sideline and started yelling. Like it didn't even seem like there was a true issue.
Now, having said that, she's picked up 156,000 followers on Instagram.
So it was worth it.
So for 25-year-old, Karen.
Which, by the way, she looks 40, right?
Yeah, she doesn't look 25.
Yeah.
And she, okay, so I'm trying to be respectful.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Courtside Karen's trying really hard. She's wearing a scant dress. She's got probably an entire Sephora inventory on her face. Like, she's wearing a ton of makeup. Like,
People Myron.
and she is one of those people who really wants to be looked at. She's one of those people that she does not mind. She's the girl that goes to the gym and works out in just about nothing. And does it just so that guys will stare at her.
Yeah.
Like, that's what she strikes me as. Yeah. And I'm trying to be gentle about it, but I just think that she is out here for the attention.
Yeah. The clout.
Right? She is out here so that people will be like, oh, hey, look at her. Like, you know, and she is the trophy wife. You know, like, she is that.
Yeah, that's who she is, dude. That's her personality. That's the kind of person who would do this, you know. So yeah, I agree. LeBron won't hear about it. I don't think it's as big of an issue as people make it out to be. And LeBron is way above this, so I just don't think it's going to be an enduring issue.
Yeah, and I don't see him telling her to sit the F down, B.
Yeah, I would be surprised.
LeBron, that's not ever been who LeBron is. And I do think fans have an issue. Now, speaking of courtside. Are you ready?
I got it queued up here.
Are you going to bow down and admit your disrespect and your incredible, flagrant assholicness that you have been treating my guy Devin Booker with for his entire career? Are you ready to apologize? And are you ready to say that Devin Booker is a superstar after what he pulled off last night?
Here's Paul. Dallas has a foul to give. Booker on a three. He got it! Devin Booker gives Phoenix a 1-point lead with 1.5 left.
Any questions? The floor is yours, Jake. Go ahead.
I have no comment at this time. No comment.
Are you at least going to admit now that Devin Booker is a superstar?
Yeah, sure. If you want to call him a superstar, sure. But there's still work to be done, for sure. He's top 5 in the league.
You either are or you're not. Is he a superstar?
I think he's still on the cusp. I think he's very close now.
What does that mean?
He's.
What do you mean?
I don't know. It's almost like an intangible. Like he's just got to keep going here. Like you got to get into the postseason. You got to win some games. Like you got to do some things. Like yes, clearly he's clutch.
Is Bradley Beal a superstar?
No, he's not a superstar.
He's not a superstar.
He's a great scorer, not a superstar. No, he's not on LeBron and Kevin Durant's level. Not a superstar. All-star, sure. Not a superstar.
Who's a better scorer in the NBA than Bradley Beal right now?
James Harden.
No. Do you understand the historic run that Bradley Beal's on?
I'm sure it is historic. That's great. But we're not talking about, hey, I played a great 60 games. We're talking about superstars in the NBA. LeBron James, Kevin Durant, that group of player. Are these guys we're talking about on that level? Because those guys are superstars.
I think Devin Booker is on that level. First of all, nobody is on Kevin Durant and LeBron James's level.
Okay,
I
so
think
we're just
those
saying they're
two
on their own level.
Yeah, those two are on their own.
Okay.
I think Devin Booker is absolutely on the next level.
Uh-huh.
He's in that next tier. James Harden has essentially disappeared in Brooklyn. So I don't know that I'm ready to pronounce James Harden the same old OKC Houston James Harden. I think he's got some proving ground to go over. But I think Devin Booker, I still maintain, is between him and Paul George, they have the best shot in the NBA.
Uh-huh.
Mid-range, three-point, finish at the rim, like, incredible.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Devin Booker, as a shooter, is on par with Kevin Durant.
Mm-hmm.
I think Devin Booker is never going to get the credit he deserves until he puts on a Laker uniform.
That or makes the postseason. I mean,
well, even if he makes the postseason, DeAndre Ayton's a joke.
Yeah,
DeAndre Ayton. And again, maybe this is where this conversation goes. I'm telling you, DeAndre Ayton almost cost him that game last night. DeAndre Ayton is the only reason that the Mavericks were in that game late, because Chris Paul throws him a great lob for a dunk that he didn't even jump for. Then immediately after missing that lob, he runs down to the other end of the court, completely forgets that he's guarding Kristaps Porzingis, who turns around and hits a three to tie the game.
Yep.
And I'm in awe of it.
Yeah, and Suns fans will tell you that DeAndre Ayton has improved and that he's a great player and he's a franchise player, and I just disagree. I don't think he's a franchise player. I think he's got a nice little jump shot, but defensively he's a liability. And I think that they should be a lot better than they are. And I feel like we're always talking about this with the Suns, but now that you've got Chris Paul, you essentially should have a big three. You know, Chris Paul and Devin Booker are a big two, but then DeAndre Ayton's got to pull his weight, and he never does. And so it is frustrating. Yeah, if Devin Booker puts on a Laker uniform and goes into the postseason with them and has some memorable run, yeah, that elevates him to the status that he probably deserves to be on. Yeah, but I think you have to go and do that. Is he a wonderful player? Yes, he is. The guy's an absolute savage. Whether you want to talk scoring, whether you want to talk absolutely dogging a defense, like, you know, intimidating a defense, you know, when you think about like what Kobe would do to defenses, like the demoralizing, beat your best guy one-on-one kind of stuff that we saw from Kobe, Devin Booker does the same stuff. But I just think that he's got to get to a point where winning is the only option. It's not good enough for him anymore just to put up his numbers. So that's why I think when you ask me, hey, is he a superstar? Is he one of the best players in the league? Yeah, skill-wise, he's probably one of the best players in the league. But I just think when you're in the NBA, you have like winning plays a role. So like if Kobe had never won, it's like with Dame. Dame's never won anything. He's a great player.
Clutch.
He's clutch, but he's never won anything. So what is he?
Right. Well, and I also think that nobody watches Suns basketball.
That's a great point.
I mean, people in the Valley don't even watch the Suns basketball games.
Yeah.
I think the new building, the new practice facility, Chris Paul being there, all that's nice. But this is still the same organization. And by the way, one win over the Dallas Mavericks doesn't cure the fact that you don't know how to win games. Mm-hmm. And if you watch the way that this game came down the stretch, you know the Suns are not ready to win. You know right now today on February 2nd, Groundhog Day, and I feel like, yeah, this is appropriate for Groundhog Day, the Suns are not a playoff team.
Right. And they should be.
And they should be. They should be better. Is that Monty Williams' fault? I don't know. I would hope not. I don't think so. But I think that the deck that Monty Williams has been handed, DeAndre Ayton is a bust at this point.
Yeah.
He is not a star. He is a really talented offensive player who just routinely refuses to do the right things on defense.
Yep.
And when you miss that lob last night, it's unforgivable to run to the other end and then forget you're guarding Porzingis, who is wide open for a three.
It's a 5-point swing.
I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable the damage that DeAndre Ayton did to this team last night and does on a regular. If you watch him defensively, he's just lost.
Yeah.
He is, and this is the Rudy Gobert conversation. Had a huge discussion on Twitter yesterday about whether or not Rudy Gobert is effective defensively on the perimeter. And I still maintain that guys like DeAndre Ayton and Rudy Gobert cannot guard the perimeter.
I would still tell you that I think the conversation of like who would you rather have, I still think trends towards Gobert because of what he's capable of doing defensively.
Oh, that's not even a conversation.
But I just think for the Suns, they're just in it's a frustrating position to be in, and this is why I say to guys like Dame and guys like Devin Booker who want to be these one-team guys who have this reputation that they're never going to leave. Like, cool, okay, great. You say you want to win championships and you say you want to do things, but you're not willing to leave your city. Like, you don't get to play in the league for 50 years, bro. You know, like, at what point does Devin Booker say, hey, like, I got to go and win something now. I got to play playoff basketball, you know? So, I don't know. I would love to see Devin Booker in the postseason. I would love that. And I'd love him to be on a team that's competitive, a team that knows how to win games. Like, okay, the Lakers or whatever the situation ends up being, you know? How awesome would it be to see him, LeBron, and AD together on the same team?
Oh, my God.
I mean, it would be incredible.
And Book has openly talked about wanting to be a Laker. Obviously, his relationship with Kobe was well documented. They were very close. I think it's just a matter of time. I don't even think I think it is an eventuality. But right now, I think Devin Booker is a superstar. In a league that is full of frauds, and when I say frauds, it's guys like Giannis. Giannis wins MVP awards, but has zero ability to shoot the basketball. Zero. Yet people will call him a superstar. Oh, he's a great scorer. He's not. Zion Williamson is not a great scorer.
No.
You know, you look at the struggles of guys like Zion and Giannis, it's that you don't have to guard them on the perimeter. And at least Giannis has at least worked on it.
Right.
And Zion has made a couple of those, but it's not who they are. It's Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
Ben Simmons isn't a superstar because he can't shoot the basketball.
Yep.
You know, like how do you legitimately justify propping up guys like Giannis and Ben Simmons and Zion Williamson because they all do one thing in common?
Yep.
They dunk a basketball.
And I think that's what people like. You know, it's as the saying goes in baseball, people like the home run. They like the long ball. You know, people want the exciting play. There's not an appreciation for Devin Booker pulling up at the elbow and just knocking down a pure jump shot in the league. Nobody, the casual fan doesn't understand how difficult that is.
The nuances of NBA basketball are lost on the casual fan.
Yeah.
And I think that's been more magnified with the performances we saw in the bubble. And now watching guys like Devin Booker hit a contested three to win the game last night.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
And it was pure.
Yeah, I look at Luka Doncic, and I say to myself, look, Luka, it's another night where you guys lost in Dallas, and you wind up slamming your hands on a scorer's table and saying to the media, I have to be better. Well, hey, that's all well and good, but in the meantime, all you are is hype.
Yeah.
Because you're the best player on a really crappy Mavericks team.
Yep.
And now what's the excuse? You get a really good performance out of Porzingis last night, and you still lose. So what is the excuse for Luka? You're walking away again frustrated and angry. Well, what do you want us to do about that? Because I'm looking at the numbers out of this game last night. I look at Porzingis. He gave you 19 points, 10 boards, a dime, a steal, 3 blocks.
He gave you a game.
And you still lost. And Luka Doncic gave you 25 points, 8 assists, 2 steals, 5 boards, and you still lost.
Yep.
Because it goes back to Devin Booker. Devin Booker was not enough on his own to win games and carry the Suns to the playoffs. Even in the bubble, where he was unbelievable and they went undefeated, it still was not enough to take them to the playoffs. You add CP3, and all of a sudden they're a much better team. There's a different dynamic. CP3 last night steals a ball late in the game, goes down to the other end, winds through the offense, winds up getting the ball back and hitting a 3.
Right.
He's a guy that can make Devin Booker better.
Yes. He does make him better nightly. Yeah.
If they don't go to the playoffs, it's not Devin Booker's fault.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
And if they don't go to the playoffs, if I'm Devin Booker, I want out.
Yeah.
If James Harden can get traded, right? If you can put KD and Kyrie in Brooklyn with James Harden, Devin Booker can wind up on the Lakers. It really is that simple.
Yeah, I agree that it's definitely possible. I just think that the ownership in Phoenix is a pain in the ass to work with, and nobody likes talking to him.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Although James Jones has done a good job building that roster.
Yeah, but it's Sarver being petty and being pretentious about trading somebody to the Lakers.
Could be.
So,
but this is a players' league now, and the culture's been established that it's not up to the owner.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
And the culture's been established that you got to smash that subscribe button on YouTube. Find us at The Monty Show, MONTY, TheMontyShow.com. That takes you right to our YouTube channel. Please hit that subscribe button. We're a relatively new channel here on YouTube, so all of your support is appreciated. We appreciate everybody who watches our videos. Lopes fan Gabe says, my dudes, good morning, Lopes fan. Day traders are not Robinhood's customers. They are its commodity. Robinhood's real customers are the hedge funds who pay for the day trader data. Correct.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Robinson, well, good morning, Robinson, says, thanks for the straight on point about AMC. I'm in the exact same position you are. I will lose everything I have in AMC, about $5,000 if it is. rather than sell and give that money to the shorts.
Yeah.
I agree with that because when you sell, you're giving that money to the shorts. There's no doubt about that.
I'm glad we're getting comments like that because I really think it doesn't have to be over today. Like it doesn't have to be a thing where the stock takes a dump and all of a sudden it's over and the shorts got their ass saved essentially. You know, like if people will just be stubborn like that about this situation, like you and Robinson and many other folks, if the person who bought low and is trying to get this stock price to go up will be stubborn, I think it can get back to where it needs to be, but it's going to take a few days.
How do I say this? I'm tired of it taking a few days.
Well, that's the process.
And the reason I'm tired of it is because that means the shorts are winning. The hedge funds are winning. Like, why on earth? And if anybody cares to explain this to me, why on earth are they allowed not to pay their money when everybody else has to pay their money? If I put a margin call out, I have to pay the margin call when the session's over. Why don't the hedge funds? You know, like I just...
Because when you short a stock, you're not actually paying for the stock. You're borrowing the shares, and each time you short a stock, you have a unique time when you have to pay it back. You set that time when you short the stock. So Jimmy could short a stock and have to pay it the next day, where Steve could short the stock and the deal he worked out could be next week. So that's why.
Yeah, I just think it's ridiculous. The hypocrisy of it all is insane. You know, it's really frustrating. Will says I'm not out either. Stand tall. Yeah.
Good, man. Good.
Stand tall. Like, and that's the thing.
Be.
I haven't looked at Reddit. Reddit trading on Twitter is actually kind of fun.
It's awesome.
To follow Reddit trading. 42 minutes ago, Reddit trading said, welcome back AMC Theaters, because AMC Theaters tweeted, we're thrilled to welcome you back to the movies. Most theaters are now open, and our top priority is the health and safety of our guests and crew, which is they're limiting seating capacity. So, interesting. Okay, that's cool. All I'm saying is I want the hedge funds to crash.
I want it.
I want them to crash. Like, desperately, I want them to crash.
Is this the dagger?
I hope so. I hope so. Because...
Yes, slowly but surely, bro.
I am ready. I was ready for LaMelo Ball to start in Charlotte last night.
All gas, no brake.
He is fast.
Yeah.
The Charlotte Hornets are better with LaMelo starting.
Yes.
He started last night. They had a thrilling overtime win. It was as enjoyable. They beat the Miami Heat in Miami. That was as enjoyable of an NBA game to watch as we've seen in a while. Graham and Monk went crazy for Charlotte. LaMelo was playing in critical stretches of the fourth quarter and overtime, making big-time passes, had 5 fouls. I thought played really well when after he got his 5th foul. Like, this is who this Charlotte Hornet team is going to be in 5 years.
Yep.
But they're going to be better.
Yep.
And if James Borrego will get out of the way when Terry Rozier returns, because the only reason LaMelo's starting is Terry Rozier's injured.
Well,
that's the only reason LaMelo's starting. So when Terry comes back, the question is what happens with LaMelo.
Yeah, I would love to see LaMelo continue to start. I think, as much as we talk about Ayton and where he's at and his development, like, I think the biggest thing is that LaMelo does share that struggle on defense, but I think he's getting better, and offensively he's such a force that it almost mitigates, the times when he is caught with his pants down on defense. Like last night I posted a video where he's in the weak side corner guarding his guy, ball swings to his side, so now the ball's on the strong side, and his guy back cuts behind him and gets an easy wide open layup. Those are the things that LaMelo Ball has to get better at. Now, his distribution, his pace of play, his ability to shoot the basketball, his intelligence when he's getting the offense to be where it should. He was directing traffic last night. Like, all of that, I think is phenomenal. And that's why he should be starting, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think his basketball intellect is unquestioned. I mean, at this point, it'll be interesting to see who wins Rookie of the Year now that Wiseman's out a couple of weeks.
It should be LaMelo.
I mean, right now, if it was today, I think it would be LaMelo. Yeah. I mean, I think he is. It's only a matter of will he start, and at what point is he the full-time starting point guard on that team?
Right.
Because that's when he is going to dramatically improve. Mm-hmm. Because you cannot be a liability defensively as a rookie and start.
Right.
And the only way you get better, and the only way you guard that back cut, is experience and film and preparation. And by all accounts, he is a diligent student of the game. So you feel like if he gets more exposure and if they give him more run, then he's going to grow.
Yeah.
So there you have it.
I think he's going to do really well. Like, honestly, like if you ask me today, like, hey, like what is LaMelo's ceiling? I definitely think he's an all-star. Not this year, next year probably. I would say that he's an all-star because he'll be starting at that point. And I think depending on who he's got around him, I legitimately think he's talented enough and he's smart enough to be in the all-time conversation when he's done. But he's got to improve, like, now. Like, the defense has to improve. His leadership skills will come along, I think, as he's got more time in the league. But I'm just saying from a pure skill and ability standpoint, his frame with his ability, he could do amazing things in the league.
And by the way, it should be said that Gordon Hayward looks pretty damn good now.
I don't know what happened to him. Like, he had a rough, 10 games probably, 15-game stretch where he just was airballing, bricking, like, just not playing well. And then all of a sudden, he just wakes up and is back to being the guy they paid him to be. So that's good news.
Yeah. It's good. It's fun to see him back after that leg break. He leaves Boston.
I won't lie. When I watch him, I think about it. For sure.
Oh, yeah.
When I'm like, dude, like...
Why are you driving to the basket? Gordon, what are you doing?
Dude.
Stay in the corner,
like
shoot
with
threes.
Durant, I'm like, bro, like, you're leveraging that Achilles hardcore, dude.
Well, think about Klay Thompson.
Klay Thompson, exactly.
He's got the Kobe. He's got the knee injury and with Kobe, it was an Achilles injury that led to a knee injury.
Yeah.
With Klay, it's a knee injury that's led to an Achilles injury.
Right.
DeMarcus Cousins, the same.
Yeah.
And if you look at the impact it took on DeMarcus and then the impact it had on Kobe, they were not the same players when they came back.
Uh-huh.
And now Klay Thompson's in that same boat.
I think Klay's lucky, though, because Kobe, played a very physical style of basketball, and he had the ball a ton, like, one-on-one, whereas Klay doesn't need to dribble. He's more of a spot-up guy. He does a lot of running. He does a lot of cutting, for sure.
He does a lot of dunking.
Yeah, he does, and that'll probably change, but you're talking about a guy who, what was the famous game, 60 points on, like, 8 dribbles or something? I can't remember what it was. But, like, he doesn't need the ball in his hands to create. He's the guy that's going to be your knockdown shooter with Steph. I mean, that's why they've always been so lethal.
All right. Again, make sure you find us on YouTube, The Monty Show, MONTY, The Monty Show. Hit that subscribe button. Shall we talk some politics? We've been wanting to do that.
We've been on a break for a minute, and it's been nice.
We have. Joe Biden hasn't pissed off the entire globe in the last week and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Just in general, a couple of questions for you.
Yeah.
Do you want to see $1 trillion COVID relief package?
There's one of two ways to go about this. So if we're going to keep restrictions in place and we're going to keep businesses closed, then yes, we need the package. We got to have it because people got to be able to survive.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more of the mindset that we should open places more, allow more business to happen, but be very strict about the way we go about it.
How do you enforce that?
I don't know how you enforce it. That's the problem. You can't just have cops on every corner saying, hey, you can't do this and that, right? So I don't know. That's the problem. So I'm more the mindset that I'm like, hey, like, this pandemic is just like anything else that we've faced in the sense that you have to allow people to make a decision.
Yes.
We're too far into this thing to be telling people, well, you got to wear a mask, and now you got to wear 2 masks, and you can't do this, and you can't do that. Like, at some point, people are going to go to AMC theaters. At some point, people are going to go out. At some point, people are going to do what they want to do, and you got to let them as individuals pay the price. But I can't fathom, we can't be in a place where you're telling the small business owner that they can't open their door. You can't be there.
Well, and you talk about 2 ways to look at this. Here's how I look at a stimulus, a new stimulus.
Yeah, a fresh one.
You have to support small business, and to support small business, you have to support the people who shop small business. So when I say small business, I look at mom and pop shops. I look at, I live in South Jordan. You need to be able to support the Break Sports Bar. You need to be able to shop at boutiques. You need to be able to, you have to be able to use Joe Q Plumber,
Right.
the local guy.
Yes.
You have to support those businesses. This is not just about restaurants. And I hope people understand that. Restaurants can evolve. What can't evolve are things like retail clothing stores. If you're a retail clothing store that closed, you'll never reopen because you were already struggling with Amazon. And now you're done because of the pandemic. How many of those businesses survive? One of my favorite stores in Salt Lake City, right off the 15, is this huge flag store.
Yeah.
Who I can't shop at because now they're struggling so much that they keep the lights off and close the business on the weekends. And frankly, I don't have time to go during the week.
Yeah.
Right? It's stores like that you worry about. You have to support small business and the people who shop in those stores. To do that, the people who shop in those stores have to be able to pay their mortgage, their rent. They have to be able to put food on the table. Don't tell me that you're not going to give them stimulus money, but yet you're going to expect them to pay back these ridiculous, overburdensome student loans. Right? Well, great point on the Reddit trading forum last night. Right? You won't let people buy, AMC and GameStop stock, but you sure as hell are going to let them pay their student loan.
Yep.
Right? You're going to, you absolutely are going to pay that student loan. There was a nuclear attack. Okay, cool. Let's talk about that after you make your student loan payment. That's where we are in this country. It's so ridiculous that you're going to make that student loan payment no matter what, but we're not going to have a stimulus package so you can eat. But your ass is going to pay that student loan payment.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't have a place to live? Cool. I don't know if you know this, but you can get online and pay your student loan debt when you're living in a car. That's where our attitude is. And I don't understand that. And everybody said that crazy old Bernie Sanders, the meme, was nuts for saying we should forgive all student loan debt. I don't know if that's so nuts in the parlance of our times.
Yeah,
I really don't.
And there's examples globally of free education. There is, and I think that student loans are just a burden that 9 out of 10 people feel like they've got to take on because they don't, or maybe they aren't confident enough to go at it without college, and they think, oh well, I want to. It's you said this the other day on the show, I want to be like a molecular bio. I have a guy on my team at Yelp who went to, Virginia, a great university, and got a bachelor's degree in molecular biology. And he's doing he's selling at Yelp and making a ton of money and paying off his paying off his student loans with the money he makes at Yelp because he makes good money.
Yeah.
So that's why I say, I think the conversation has to be, if you're someone who's lucky enough to not have student debt, don't go and get it. Don't bring debt into your life. That we're not in that kind of time. Now to survive, you got to be debt free. You got to be making good money, and you got to be really savvy with your money.
The freedom that comes with being debt-free, and I recently became debt-free, the freedom that comes with it is remarkable. When you're not making credit card payments, when you're and we've talked about this pretty openly on the show, so this isn't like some secret. We completely restructured our life so that we could open a business.
Yeah.
And I mean, when I say, and I know everybody says literally, we literally cut our expenses on a monthly basis by about 75%. And our income has stayed level. We only did that so that we could make more money, have more money, and open a business. Mm-hmm. Because what's interesting about this stimulus conversation, and should we have a stimulus, you shouldn't be taking paychecks from a company.
Right.
In my opinion. And I love and respect Yelp. Yesterday I had a really monumental day at Yelp yesterday. And that in 14 months, and actually 13 months in one day, I've sold over $1 million in revenue at Yelp. It's a hell of an accomplishment. And in that time, I've made a whole lot of money doing it. Mm-hmm. and I would give it up in a second to open my business.
Right.
And that's what life should be about. The problem is we're setting back generations with this pandemic. And the way that we handled the pandemic as a country set us back for generations as far as new business, as far as people having the balls to open up their own front door. We set people back generations.
Yeah.
And no stimulus is going to fix that. But what we need a stimulus for is to support existing business and giving people the ability to shop in local business and then fast forwarding the economic recovery. That's what the stimulus is about. It's not about propping up the stock market. The stock market doesn't mean anything and is not an indicator about how John Q. Public, who lives on 10th Street, is doing.
Right.
Because he doesn't live up on the hill. He lives down in the valley, and he's suffering, and he's thirsty right now. So I think we do need a stimulus. I'm a supporter of a new stimulus.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not saying that. Listen, I think if whether it's 2,000 or 1,400 or like whatever they end up coming out with, like, yeah, I think that would be great.
$600 is an insult.
It's embarrassing. What are you supposed to do with $600? I mean,
But think about this. What do you say to somebody who's got kids? And you're like, oh, yeah, each one of you gets $600. Here's $1,200 for you and your 5 kids for a year. You lost your job. You don't have unemployment benefits. You don't have health insurance. Here's $1,200. Okay, good luck. Right?
Like that's supposed to be good enough.
I joked about bread and bologna. Do you know how many people in this country live on bread and bologna?
Yeah.
Do you know how many people right now are feeding their kids things like top ramen and macaroni and cheese?
Mm-hmm.
You know what's scarier than that? Do you know how many people in this country can't afford bread, bologna, top ramen, and macaroni and cheese to feed their kids?
Yeah.
Like, it's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
In my lifetime, we've never seen it this bad.
Yeah.
And we're going to sit up on the hill and argue about a $1,000 stimulus check? Like, this is ridiculous.
But that's the thing. Those guys don't have that perspective because they're getting paid $100,000 a year.
Jake, stop being a socialist.
But I'm not being a socialist. I'm just saying, hey,
it's not socialism. It's human rights. That's what this is.
Yeah, and look, I just think overall we're in a really weird place politically because of the way Donald Trump handled his presidency and what he did to Congress and all that stuff. So we're in a weird place as far as that's concerned. The pandemic has obviously gutted the economy. You know, it's absolutely ruined millions of people's lives, frankly.
Yep.
And then overall, I just look at people's morale, just generally speaking, and it's not good.
It's rough.
If someone is in a position where they lost their job, they've got a family of 4, and they don't know how to support them, how many people are strong enough mentally to say, okay, well, I don't have my salary, so what am I going to do? Am I going to drive Uber all day? Am I going to, there's not, if you really think about it, grind-wise, there's not a lot that the average person can go out and do. Like, yeah, I can tell you, hey, like, you need to make a couple $1,000s a month? Great. Go out and garage sale, start an eBay account, and start selling stuff. But who's the average person who's going to think of that? Like, not everybody thinks of that stuff.
Well, look at not to belabor this point, but look at the average Grubhub driver.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Mrs. Monty and I ordered Cafe Rio for lunch the other day.
Uh-huh.
And the lady that delivered the Grubhub had a car full of kids in the backseat and had 3-4 bags of food in her trunk, running around making Grubhub deliveries.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm romanticizing it on some level, but you can't tell me that the lady's not trying to feed her family.
Oh, that's exactly what she's doing. There's no doubt.
I mean,
how is that romantic? That's reality, bro.
But I think there are people who will tell you, well, that's a choice she made.
That's a choice she made because she was put in that position.
Because she had no other choice.
Yeah, I mean, what's she supposed to do?
If you followed us over the last decade, and we've been doing this for coming up on a decade.
Bro, this always blows my mind when we talk about this right here.
What?
What's gone on in the last decade for us.
Everything. We've done everything from flipping houses, and we made good money. We lost a bunch of money in real estate, but we made good money. We've done Amazon crates, which we made a good bit of money on.
Mm-hmm.
Think that like the podcast, like videography and social media consulting. Like, we've done all of these things.
Yeah.
And we've done pretty well. Real estate, at the end of the day, we weren't playing with our own money, and that killed us.
Yeah, we walked away with real estate with debt, but like what we did was good.
Yeah, and we learned from that.
Yeah.
And believe you me, I am going to flip houses again.
For sure.
There's just too much money in it right now not to.
Yeah.
But we've fallen down a lot, right? But you know what the thing is, and I'm so proud of us and Mrs. Monty and the three of us as a whole. We've never had a handout.
Yeah.
Our margins have been tight at times, don't get me wrong, but we've always made a way.
Yeah.
Even in the worst of times at the shitty radio station in Scottsdale. Like, we found a way. We found a way to extricate ourselves from that situation.
Yeah.
And we were just talking about this the other day because I also won, not only did I break $1 million at Yelp, I also was the top producing sales rep in Phoenix for January. And I said to Jake when I was sitting here the other day, do you realize how much our lives improved the moment we walked out the door at that crap hole radio station?
Yep.
Like, the weight, the darkness, the oppression that took place in that building was, you just don't see it when you're in it.
Yeah.
And then you get out of it and you're like, wow, there's the sun. Like, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Donald Trump, let's keep talking politics. Donald Trump wants access to classified intelligence briefings to continue. Presidents, when they leave office, directors of the FBI, the CIA, the NIS, those guys continue to get intelligence briefings when they leave office.
Why?
Well, because they're thought leaders. The things that you never know are that, W and Obama talked all the time. Clinton and Obama, Clinton and Bush, those guys, when you're the president of the United States, you need input. Donald Trump really is the first guy who just said, screw you, every other former president, I'm doing this on my own.
Uh-huh.
And he never took advice. Every other president, every other FBI director leaned on former FBI directors.
Right.
Right? You need the experience of people who've done what you're trying to do.
Right.
So they give those guys intelligence briefings. And famously, Donald Trump cut off all of his critics from intelligence briefings so that they couldn't have the right information to insult him on TV, is how he believed it was. So now he's out of office and he wants to continue. The argument is that he is highly leveraged financially. Donald Trump's in financial ruin. His business is in a really bad position. And there are some who believe that he is leveraged by the Russians. True or not, I have no idea. But there are all these theories out there as to why Donald Trump cannot have access to classified intelligence, because he could sell it.
Right.
Or he could use it to buy himself some room to breathe.
Right.
Should Donald Trump have access to security briefings?
No. I don't know why we would be giving him access. I think you've got a new administration in. Clearly, it's a completely changed. It's a huge change in philosophy. And by the way, if Donald Trump wants to flip the bird to everybody, why would you not flip the bird back? I don't.
Yeah.
I just don't understand why you would continue to feed him intelligence. Yeah. Whether he wants to sell it, whether he wants to have an opinion on it or whatever. We don't need to hear from him anymore. He's not a president anymore. And that's me being biased 100%. I didn't vote for him either time. And I'm not a Donald Trump guy at all. I think I truly believe that he is not mentally well. Honestly, I believe that.
Yeah, I don't know that I would give him access either.
Yeah.
I really don't think that I would. It's one of those things where you just kind of wonder what the upside of that is.
Yeah.
What good comes from
I don't know, man. It's not. I don't think there's any good that comes from that, because the fact of the matter is when you look at the Hallmark presidents, the Bushes, the Obamas, the Clintons, no matter what you think of them as people, right? You can at least say during their presidency they did things that were productive. They did things that were responsible and productive and thought out. Now, whether you disagree, that's a different conversation. But I think the difference with Donald Trump is the things he were doing, like, we could all mutually agree were asinine. Like, they just didn't make sense.
Yeah.
So that's why I feel like, hey, every other president up to this point, yes, continue to give him intelligence, but I just don't see it for Donald Trump.
Have you come around on the importance of impeaching him? Because I still don't think it's that important. I think you can pass a dictate or an edict that says he can never run for office again. Okay, that's a compromise. But I don't think that I don't know what is the upside of impeaching a president. We're about to have our first ever impeachment trial of a guy who's out of office.
Yeah, so the first thing that needs to be said is it is borderline unconstitutional. Number one, like, that's going to be a fight. But number two, I haven't come around on it. I think that he needs to be held accountable for what he did, and all the things that have come out about all the meetings that Rudy had, and you know, whether it's Alex Jones or otherwise, like, all these people that were involved in getting that rally going, so then they could inspire those people to go to the Capitol.
Did you see and I can never remember the name of it, the conservative social media app Parler?
Parler.
They have now aggregated many, many posts off of Parler. During Donald Trump's speech on January 6th, the conversations on Parler spiked.
Uh-huh.
And they were quoting him and saying, we're going there, we're doing this.
Yeah.
Violence is not too far. Like, one of them said something to the effect of, violence is not out of bounds, or like something like that.
Right.
And they were quoting his speech that he was making as he was making it.
Yep.
And now, I think there's a large part of this that was planned ahead of time.
Yep.
But the piling on that happened because of his speech really led to the insurrection.
And my point is he knew what he was doing.
Yeah,
and he's going to say he didn't know what he was doing because he wants to defend himself, but he knew what he was doing, and that's why I say, like, dude, Donald Trump, like, how can we not try to impeach him? How can we not, like, run him through that process, make him go through that? He's responsible.
I think that there's a couple of parts of this. One, impeaching him further divides the country. There's no question about that. No matter what side of this you're on,
yeah,
it's hard to argue against the fact that impeaching Donald Trump divides our country. It also, I think, carries significant weight on what's happening in Congress. Mm-hmm. Because, you know, complete asshole and sellout Lindsey Graham is refusing to have a hearing for the Attorney General nominee, Merrick Garland, because he says they're too busy now with the impeachment and preparing for the impeachment trial, which is complete garbage. The impeachment trial starts on the 9th. The Democrats want a hearing on the 8th, and Lindsey Graham said last night, I'm not doing that, forget it. And so there is consistent nominations, this stimulus package. I thought, by the way, complete stroke of genius by the president to have the Republican caucus to the White House yesterday to meet with them, and whether he took their words, you know, impactfully or not, I don't know. There's a lot of discussion about whether or not the conversations were of substance. Don't know, don't care. The very fact, the optics of having the Republican caucus at the White House, I thought was a really smart play.
Yep.
A really smart play.
Yep.
But I think there's a lot more at stake and I do think part of convicting Donald Trump is just straight retribution, and part of it is petty, in my opinion. The other part of it is, yes, it does preclude him. And ask yourself this. At the end of the day, you convict Donald Trump, which is never going to happen, by the way. He's found guilty in that Senate trial. What did you get out of it?
I think you proved a point. That
right,
you
but prove a point.
Violence.
Prove a point by barring him from ever running from office again.
Yes, that, and it's the premise of it. Like, I don't understand, like, why this is so difficult. It's the premise of it. You're not gonna we can't. So okay, cool. So let's not do the impeachment. Let's not take him through that process.
No, but you understand he's not going to get convicted.
It doesn't matter if he's going to get convicted or not. They have to do it. They have to prove a point that it's not acceptable to incite violence and incite an insurrection.
I just think, listen, man, I think we have a lot going on in this country.
So what is going to happen? What's going to happen when there's another insurrection because he incited another one?
Well, impeaching him's not going to stop that.
Okay, well, it certainly helps to discourage it, right?
No. Actually, I think it will give power and it will give motivation to people that loved the insurrection, who want to do damage. It will motivate them. I think the only thing you get out of an impeachment trial is a not guilty verdict and maybe some modicum of satisfaction because you actually tried to impeach a guy that was out of office. When I think the practical right thing to do is what Joe Biden's doing. I'm staying out of this. This is not my fight. This is the Senate's fight. Cool. The practical thing to do is get on with the business of getting vaccines, fixing the pandemic, getting a stimulus in place, and moving on, helping Americans feed their families.
Yeah.
That's the priority.
Yeah,
getting guys like Merrick Garland confirmed.
That's all fine and dandy, but at the end of the day, it's going to happen again. If we do nothing about it, it's going to happen again.
I don't think if he is found guilty in an impeachment trial, it's going to happen again. If he is found innocent in an impeachment trial, it's going to happen again.
So we're just supposed to sit here on our hands and do nothing?
No, you are supposed to rebuke him strongly by passing a law that says he can never run for office again.
Yeah, but then they're just going to say that law's not, it doesn't matter.
And by the way, no, he can't run at that point. And by the way, I think he's going to be a convicted felon, so it's going to be very difficult for him to run for president in 4 years anyway. Wow. I think
Nobody likes talking about that, by the way.
Yeah, he is in financial ruin, and the state of New York is out for that ass. I mean, it's that simple.
And I don't feel sorry for his ass either. He had that coming.
All right, in 3 minutes.
Uh-huh.
Are flowers passé? By the way, do you know what passé means?
No, I've never heard anybody use the word passé before. Literally never heard that before.
Are you serious?
Yeah, 100% serious. Never heard anybody use that before.
Okay, passé is a common word. And it basically means, like, have they jumped the shark? Are they out of date?
Are they not cool anymore?
Yeah.
In English. Are they not cool anymore?
The official definition is no longer fashionable, out of date.
Yeah.
Are buying somebody a dozen roses for Valentine's Day passé?
I mean, I think it depends how you execute it. If you just roll up and hand it to them, yeah, it's probably not going to be great. Like, I think if it's all in the execution of how you deliver them.
Here's my problem, though.
Right.
Isn't Valentine's Day just a Hallmark holiday?
Yeah.
Right? Isn't it Sweetest Day?
Yeah.
I think I do a really good job of buying my wife Jordans so I don't have to buy her flowers on Valentine's Day. Right? Like, I think I do a pretty good job throughout the year of making my wife feel special and loved.
Mm-hmm.
So that I don't have to contribute to Hallmark on Valentine's Day. Now, having said that, I almost always send her flowers or take her to dinner, or usually we'll go get a manicure, pedicure. But now that there is this lung-eating, ass-whooping pandemic happening, we're not going to be doing that.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know, but I'm not the guy that's like I send my wife flowers probably 2 times a year.
Uh-huh.
Not on anniversaries or any of that. I just buy her flowers.
Uh-huh. I
will bring her flowers home from Costco on occasion.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like I do that throughout the year. I don't know. And we'll talk about this more, like what's a good gift on Valentine's Day.
Uh-huh.
We'll do this stuff coming up. But I want to put that in people's minds. I love our florists, and I'm sitting here talking about supporting small business.
Yeah.
I don't know about sending flowers on Valentine's Day. I do know that you should hit subscribe on YouTube. Find us on our website, themontyshow.com. The Monty Show, MONTY, themontyshow.com. Takes you right to our YouTube page. Smash subscribe. We're a new channel that's growing. Really appreciate you, everybody that's subscribing and watching our videos. Until tomorrow, say impeach that son of a bitch.
Impeach that son of a bitch.